We're headed back to Tin Can Alley for week 8. We've passed the halfway point of this season. Last season, I had Tin Can Alley as my home field, and we ended up performing pretty well. It's an interesting field. It's very unconventional because there's a gigantic Moe aluminum truck parked in center field, and there are dumpsters, out there and right. It's also very difficult to hit home runs in this field because of the presence of the apartment buildings or office buildings or whatever they are in left and right field. Although I did have someone hit a homer against me when I played there last season. So you can put your weakest fielder in center on this field, and the importance of your outfielders is lessened because they don't necessarily need to catch the ball so much as they need to grab it when it bounces off the asphalt or the buildings or whatever. So my lineup does look a little different. I've got Chucky Flinder, who is my weakest fielder, I believe, kind of parked up against the truck. But I'm not starting on defense, I'm starting on offense. My opponent is backwardscap2. This is an intra-league game, so he's a front yard league coach. Apparently he is a rookie, and he's quite good for a rookie. So he's looking to break my undefeated streak. He himself, at the time of this game, was 5-2. Strong record for a newcomer. Unfortunately, Walter Hall, his pitcher, I believe is a 3-speed. He's very slow. Yeah, looking at the stats here on my other monitor, he is a 3-speed, and his coordination is also quite low. And his arm strength. Really, all he has is a crazy good left hook and 100 stamina. So he was selected in the final round by Backwards Cap. I assume to make up for a deficit in his bullpen. So we start off with, what was that? We start off with Wally getting to first. And on this field, line drives. Power is great because you can just hit it on top of the truck and get like an automatic ground rule double. You can also hit it off the left or right field buildings. And if a fielder catches it on the way down after that bounce, it does not count as an out because it's already made contact with the surface. So I'm not going to be hitting a lot of grounders in this game, I don't believe. There you go. So I was on line drive, I think.
Let's go, Blue.
So I sometimes run the base path recklessly, and that's actually a habit that I developed when I had Tin Can Alley as my home field last season. You saw me run with Wally there when I really didn't have any business doing so. Now, if the ball that Claudia just hit had bounced off the left field building, if it had bounced off the left field building and then he hadn't fielded it properly and it had taken a bounce on the asphalt and bounced way up in the air, that would give Wally time to run to third. Oh! Probably the most unfortunate play that possibly could have happened just happened. The automatic double play with the double Dimitri taunt. Ouch. Yeah, there's that insane left hook I was talking about. That's Walter's bread and butter. And with a pitcher like Walter, to be honest, I think you probably just spam left hooks. Like you just accept the fact that if your opponent makes contact, they're going to get a velocity buff, and you just... Ooh, that's not going to make it to the truck.
Let's go, Blue.
You just accept the fact that your opponent's going to hit balls slightly farther than normal, but you trade that disadvantage for the advantage of having a super accurate 100 stamina pitch. Backwards Cap does seem to like to play around with other pitch types, though, and kind of gamble, honestly, on where they're going to land. So we're going to try to take advantage of that in this game. His first batter is Dawn Cozart, who's a fantastic player. You can see that I'm pitching to her quite carefully. She has above average power, but where she really shines is her speed. She's got 8 speed, high coordination, so she rarely trips on the base path. Great fielder as well. There's a bunt. And Fernando with the crazy throw to first. I didn't expect that at all out of him. I suppose that has to do with his aggression stat. Yeah, or maybe I'll just let it remain a mystery, because that was a fantastic play. Don't want to suck the magic out of it. Thankfully, Shane, he's fast, but he's not fast enough to reach the base path before Alicia can step on, I suppose, what a chalk. At first base, all the bases are drawn with chalk on this field. Stan Olafson, a great all-rounder, is up to bat. I've got a little dish of ice cream here in front of me that I'm probably going to eat. Like juggle that and commentating. So I might fall silent at some points. You might also hear like the click of my spoon. So just don't mind me. That was a really juicy pitch for Stan. It's a shame he couldn't make any more of it. But, there's a big element of randomness to where the ball goes in this game. You can control it a little with the timing of your swing and what you choose to swing at, but sometimes you have a 100-power player and they go 0 for 3 with a bunch of groundouts. So we see Walter experimenting with non-left hook, and here's his left hook, and that's pinpoint, Not an absolutely perfect location, but good enough that I just look at it rather than pulling the trigger. A ball, maybe? Yeah. So you can see that I'm on power with Gwen, even though she's more of a grounder and line drive type hitter. That's just because all I want to do is make contact, like hit the ball high enough that it lands on top of those, I guess they're not dumpsters, but recycling containers, since they say newspapers. I just want to hit the ball high enough and far enough that it makes contact with some, a wall or a recycling container or a truck before it can touch a fielder's glove. Wow. Surprised to see that I had the eye to... oh, yeah, swing at that. Ooh! I don't care if I had 3 strikes. I'm swinging at that. Future me is swinging at that. Swinging at that. Nice.
Just as I had calculated.
Ooh, we're running. I would have, if she had made that catch, I would have been out. Unfortunate. His second baseman, who actually I drafted and traded to him in the preseason, Alexis Weiss. She's got a low coordination stat, which may go some of the way towards explaining that drop. Good player, though. Honestly, when I made that swap, and I think it was me trading Alexis for Hillary Vargas, who is gone from my team now, but I had her at one point. Don't swing. Don't swing. Whoops. After I made that trade, Alexis Weiss, who I had drafted, for Hillary Vargas, I felt it was very even, and I was, regretting it a little bit after I did it. Oh. Whoops. Yeah, they're... Let's see if backwardscap knows. Yes. He does know to just let the first base runner get to second, rather than try to throw him out and risk my man on third coming home. Pretty savvy player for a rookie, as you know, as I mentioned earlier. Yeah, so Alexis, it worked out, I think, for the best. The way that the preseason trade happened and the way that my trades unfolded during the trading period mid-season. But I wonder what my team would be like if I'd had Alexis on it, because then I would have had 2 power hitters from the start of the season, her and Cheryl. Nice defense. Okay, I have put a bunch of people on base, but no runs yet. They will come though. Tin Can Alley is an offensive field, not a defensive one. Here's Dimitri. Very underrated player, I've found. Doesn't exactly make a great case for himself in that at-bat, but he is fairly reliable at first base, despite a middling coordination stat, and he is like the line drive king, as far as the actual backyard kids go. So I'm pitching carefully to Alexis, because I know, having drafted her and played scrimmages with her in the preseason, that she's a dangerous hitter. Should be in. Okay, let's see. I think it's gonna touch the truck. Yeah. So Jessica Wassersass, let's see, I retired his first 3 batters 1, 2, 3. Then there was an out and someone got on second, which means Jessica is his 6th batter. I would like to see her moved up in the order. I mean, she's fast. She's got a fairly powerful bat. She's a great choice for Tin Can Alley, actually. She has enough power to lift it up on top of the truck and enough speed to make it home if somebody else... if she's on second base and somebody else behind her hits something juicy. So here, yeah, this is tricky. Unfortunately, it actually worked out that Gwen dropped that ball. That was not a gigabrain play on my part to get out the base runner and just let Jessica take first. Ooh, that's a high bouncing ball. Those can be difficult. Yeah. Didn't really have a play at first there. Or, I'm sorry, didn't really have a play at second there. So luckily, 2 fielders went after it. One was able to scoop it up and throw it to first. Yeah. I forget exactly what I was saying before, but the takeaway, I suppose, would be Jessica ought to be, batting a little sooner in the lineup, I think. Got the top of the order here. And we're going power. Same strategy as when I did it with Gwen, although it makes more sense with Wally. Oh, you have to swing, brother. Come on, dude. That's probably a... Ooh, okay, good take. Okay. Full count. What happens here? Yeah, this is... You can't be messing around with. I mean, looking at Walter's stats, it's not just that one of his pitches is better than the others. It's that he has only one good pitch. The others are bad. So that's the good one. And we do get a nice hit there. This field is interesting because balls bounce so high when you hit grounders, like fast grounders. Depending on the angle, of course. Interesting attempt there. Perhaps he tried to locate it in that high outside corner. Switch to line drive to reduce our chance of whiffing now that we've accrued 2 strikes. Should be a ball? Nope. Yep. He fooled me then, and he fooled me now. I've been taking a lot more pitches this season than last season when I was a rookie. And it's working out quite nicely on the whole, but I do look at strike 3 at least, a couple times a game. Okay. Wow. Yeah, that was a close one. I probably could have made decent contact on that ball, actually. Not that it would have been the right choice to swing at it. That's outside. But those inside pitches, if you switch your stance, you can grab them. Yeah, that's in. It's okay to let that go, though. He might give me a higher pitch. Something higher in the zone that I can really slam. There's something. Does it make it on top of the dumpster? It does. So Wally's going to get to third at minimum. Oh, and unfortunately she bobbles it. But Wally falls down when he starts to take off for third, and I'm thrown out by Jessica. I assume that's Jessica at catcher there. One of the best catchers in the game. Generic pro, backyard kid, regardless. One of the best in the game. I make a crucial error there. But he serves up like a juicy ball. So the rule here is you can attempt to go further than second base, but in most cases when a ball is trapped up there for a period of time, like 5 seconds or whatever, it calls it a ground rule double. And if you've gone to second base, you have to go back. It forces you to go back. Oh, get that! Oh. So if I, if I'd done my job correctly as the base running coach, it would be 2-0 right now. But backwards cap punished my mistake, so good on him. I hope the sounds of me eating are not audible. Apologies if they are. But I'm definitely not going back through this recording to try to find them and silence them. That's too much work. What a snag from Dimitri. He's doing great over there at first. He's actually, let me see, I have backwards cap stat sheet up right now. Okay, no, I was about to, make a false claim that Dimitri is one of his best performing hitters. He is kind of middle of the pack. Why did I... that's so interesting. Why did I put my fielders back like that? That's a tricky one. One interesting thing. Oh, right here, I remember I thought the game was was going to freeze and we would have to reset, but we're safe. Nice. That was a gamble, or not a gamble, but I was unsure watching that play develop whether Alicia would, chase that ball too far out and not be able to make it back to first. But she let Wally handle it, so I got lucky there, I suppose. So Dawn is back up. I believe Dawn was his leadoff hitter. And Cheryl just positions herself perfectly there to grab the ball. But the bounce was too high. When your pitcher gets tired, sometimes their hooks start to take on like some interesting properties in terms of their curve. It looks like he's going to have people on first and second. Yeah. Dangerous spot for me. I mean, we do have 2 outs, so I just need to retire 1 batter here. But Backwards Cap is threatening to take the lead. So I guess my strategy in doing this is if the batter hits a really hard grounder, my basemen have more time to react. I'm gonna swap in Chucky, and it's like Tin Can Alley is so perfect. You can just swap your pitcher with your center fielder, and hide them there because since that truck's in the way, they really don't have to do hard work. My plan there to field like a hard hit grounder almost backfires because while Alicia easily fields the ball, she's slow and she has to run to first. She has to trudge over there. Stan Olafson, I believe, a 6 speed, so he couldn't beat me out. If I were Backwards Cap, I don't know whether he did sprint super hard, but if I were him, I definitely would.
Let's go, Blue.
Speaking of sprinting, I probably could have done it a little faster there with Stan to beat out Jessica's throw to Dimitri, but it's okay. We'll take that out. We're close to the bottom of the order, and we're just looking forward to somebody new. Rather getting a new cycle, getting back to the top of the order. Tricky one. But Backwards Cap still, when he throws his left hooks, his pitch location's great. Especially since he doesn't always throw a strike with them. He knows that that's his most valuable pitch, so he doesn't want me to catch on. That's in the zone, though. Yeah, hit that. Ooh. Is it going to touch the truck? Looks like it will. I really love my opponent's use of his best pitch, but the fact that he's mixing in so many. Oh yeah. He's mixing in so many non-left hook pitches is, I suppose, not a good sign. Oops, just bumped my mic. Sorry about that. Why do I have my Chucky Flinder's like a 30-something power hitter? What is he doing on power? I consider going to line drive there with my mouse movement. But I can see the case for power. Maybe what I want here is just a pop-up. Keep the batters where they are. Just go for a pop-up because Chucky Flinder's my last batter. Then Wally comes up after that, and I might be able to push these runners home, at least one of them. There's even some merit here to taking a strikeout so as not to hit into a double play. But of course, if I could draw a walk, that would be much better. There it is. And I have only one out. So a good chance to score. I like the choice of power here. And that's a great pitch. But we do pop it up, unfortunately. Probably going to do the same thing with Claudia. Okay. Those high corner pitches are tricky. Yeah. Nice. Who's he got on third base over there? Let me check my sheet. That is Chad Kopel. Yeah, he's a great fielder. Okay, still 1-0. I have not put my opponent away, despite having some good chances. Nice throw from Chucky. Once again, my strategy of backing up my, both my infield and my outfield. Although on this field, there's not far for my outfield to go. That strategy is not exactly working out. Alexis is a powerful hitter, though. Can't remember exactly how this goes. We are able to hold her at first base. Basically through luck, because Fernando and Cheryl were just, rubbing their faces against the truck there. Ooh, I thought that was in the zone, man. Thought that was in the zone. Guess I'm a little too optimistic. But Chucky's pitching. I mean, he is my reliever. He has given up 0 runs. Nice eye from backwards cap. Honestly, his eye's probably better than mine if he took that walk, because those pitches, they look like strikes to me. Maybe the reason for my bias is that I see where I'm locating the pitch, like where I want it to go, or where I expect it to go. When you don't see that, you can probably make a more accurate judgment. All right, done with my ice cream. Now we can really focus up. That's going to be a double play. Oh! I did not understand, I didn't realize that Cheryl was going to get that auto tag, so I just threw it straight to third. I choked on that one. I could have gotten a triple play there, if realizing that Cheryl would automatically tag, the runner on the base path. I had thrown it to second, and they had relayed it to Alicia at first. What a missed opportunity. Even with 2 kids on base, I'm not worried in this situation at all. Walter Hall, who's batting, he's the pitcher. He's batting for backwards cap. He is ridiculously slow, and he has no way to hit it out of the park. So pretty much anywhere he hits it in the park, I can get him out at first, even if his 2 base runners are speedy enough to reach second and third. And that is just, that's a stroke of luck right there. I don't think luck was really required in that situation, but, with my juice kind of flagging and a right hook not exactly being Chucky's strongest pitch, I decided to go for one, and it does end up tricking him, as those low accuracy pitches sometimes do with their movement. Look at this. Ooh. Cheryl. Cheryl, please. How are you going to foul that off? So here's something interesting to note. You can see that the swing spot that gives me an idea of where the ball will be is very narrow. I think that's because... Ooh. Absolutely smoked. Good thing this is Tin Can Alley. I think I attempt to make it home here. Yeah, but you can see that the ball's progress on top of the truck has slowed, so it does call it a ground rule double. I think that, so going back to my previous thought, I think the reason that the swing spot is so small is because Walter's stamina is so low. I think the lower his stamina gets, the more able my batters are to determine where the ball is going to end up. Of course, his left hook is a notable exception. Oh, you can't be doing that.
Let's go, Blue.
Let's see how this goes. I need to sprint. Ooh. Okay, Alicia does make it to second, but see, this is more base running fuckery from me. I am really goofing up. Perhaps I'm, kind of flashing back in time to when I had this as my home field and I would make similar errors on a weekly basis. Yummy. Yes. Park it. Yeah, that's going to be a... What? What just happened there? Wow. Very fortunate for me. That should have been a double play. I wonder what the reason was for that inaccurate throw. My heart goes out to backwards cap on that one. I recently just lost a game from an inaccurate throw like that. Like, it was literally a walk-off error. So, even though that situation wasn't quite as do or die, I know the pain. Mm-hmm. Ooh, tricky. Oh, what's going on here? Okay, he just lets Alicia get back to second, perhaps fearing that he would overthrow Stan, his shortstop, who was covering the bag. I can understand that. That should be in the zone. Yeah. Okay. Ooh. Can Alicia make it home? I believe she can. We need to spam click. Oh. Go, Artie, go. Yes. Yeah, I think Alicia's... Yep. I know that Alexis has that super weak arm from experience. I was talking about having drafted her and played scrimmages with her. As soon as I saw that she had the ball in her glove and Alicia was running, I knew that was a second run on the board. It's another great... Yeah, yummy. Dimitri's going to grab that, though. Yeah. That's okay. That insurance run is going to go a long way. Right now we're at the bottom of his order. Gale has decent speed, but not much power to speak of. That's a ball? Yep. But we got him on it. I think that probably would have been a strike, too. Really nicely located pitch. Chucky's starting off this inning fantastically. It's a ball. Yeah. The change in his composure was pretty evident from that at-bat. Me getting that second run, he's itching to score. Thankfully, he's just reached the top of his order with Dawn. But that being the case, I'm going to put Fernando back on the mound. You can, yeah, I just moused over Cheryl at third base and just put her at shortstop, in fact. You can see how different this field is than other fields, because typically I have her in center field due to her speed and coordination. Here she gets to play shortstop, because there is no center field. There's just the Moe's aluminum truck. Nice catch from Chucky. Strategy of backing up my outfield. Not exactly relevant on that play. He probably would have been in the same spot regardless. He really has nowhere else to go. He's kind of trapped back there. Throw a little bit of junk. Yeah. Shane, a decent batter and a speedy base runner. So I would love just not to let him on at all and have the next batter be the tying run. That's why you can see I don't, yeah. I locate that pitch kind of generously inside the zone. I'm going to do the same here. That might be a ball, though. Yeah, I bet that would have swung wide if he had let it. Tricky one. He might be able to get on base. No, but Fernando does his job out there. Okay, Walter Hall with 85 pitches thrown. Can we get him up to 100 this inning? The top of my order is coming after Fernando. Swing at that. Hell yeah. I think that's catchable, though. Yeah. Good try, though. Fernando, my worst performing batter so far this season statistically, but he got on base twice today, and that was a really good third attempt. Oh, he's not at the bottom of my order. I'm sorry. We have to do Chucky. That should be a strike. Ooh, yeah. You know what I said like an inning or an inning and a half ago about being able to tell more accurately if you're not the one throwing the pitches whether they're going to be balls or strikes. Apparently that's not true because I'm still goofing up. Let's see if he knows how to field this. Yes. To field those pop-ups with your catcher, you just like get under the ball and repeatedly click on its shadow over and over so you can incrementally change their position so they're right underneath it. You don't just click once, put them in position, and then let them take a grab, a crack at grabbing it, because they'll often drop it when you do. Nice hit. Hit the truck? Yes. Okay. Wally is on. Getting him home, getting a third run on the board would be like a dream come true here. Walter's still pretty far away from 100 pitches, and in fact, he does not make it. And Wally just runs into the stationary Alexis. Pretty funny interaction there. Yeah, there have been multiple batters running into fielders on the base path. Happened with Dimitri in that first inning as well, where I hit into a double play. And it should have happened, or rather it did happen, when I had Cheryl at shortstop, and she accidentally, well, I mistakenly had her throw to third instead of trying to go for the double play or even the triple play. But that's in the past now. We just got to retire 3 batters and get this W. Still experimenting with backing up my fielders. This is not a strategy I employed when TCA was my home field. Interested to see how, what impact it has in this final inning. Well, looks like I back off, actually. Maybe not the greatest idea. Shifting in general, like the shifting of your outfielders, is something that most top-level players do not do. But it's kind of fun to experiment with it. It's going to be in there. Okay. I mean, Alicia would have just caught that as a liner if she had been in position. But, don't want to be like results oriented in terms of analyzing that strategy's success. Either it's good or it's not. And the fact that it isn't useful in select scenarios doesn't mean that it's not a viable strat. There's that big bat I was talking about. Alexis is definitely a power hitter. And backwards cap surely wants to put a ball on top of the truck to get a... Ooh, that's not going to do it, though. The miraculous throw out for the third out. Crazy. Good games. Right, a good game, you know, it was singular. All right, gonna take the stats. So this win, I mean, it was a good game, for real. I forgot to record my week 2 game against Devil Dave. That's been the closest match I've had so far this season, but this probably the second closest game, second best game. You know, there are some things that I can take away from it. There was the weird strategy at, you know, with shifting my fielders that I was just blabbing on about, and also, you know, a lesson to me about anticipating when my opponent's base runners are gonna collide with my shortstop, and where to throw the ball to get extra outs, and not to mess around with like being too aggressive with base running. There are definitely things I can learn from this game. It wasn't just me like piling runs on top of a helpless opponent. So, GG's, backwards cap. I expect he will make the playoffs in the front yard league. So it's possible that, you know, if things go my way and things go his way, we could have a rematch in the big dance in April. All right, that's it for me. That ice cream was good. It was a good game too. I'll be back. Next upload will probably be my third round matchup in the Harlem Globetrotter triple elimination tournament. So look forward to that. Thanks for watching.